Namaskar. Honorable Madam Meher Master Moose, respected members on the panel, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to share my views on educating women for an enlightened world. As a part of this e-conference on the theme Digital Inclusion in Education and Social Protection for All. At the very outset, I wish to recall a famous old African saying which goes like this: if you educate a man, you will educate one person. And if you educate a woman, you educate a family, rather a nation. This quote aptly holds true even today and will have its relevance in all generations. There is no gainsaying the fact that an educated, liberal, independent, and professionally successful woman can shape generations. Only society that educates and empowers its women can become an advanced society. Education is the woman's birthright, and it is a very high time we started acknowledging that. But sadly, due to the highly patriarchal nature of our society, most of the women in our country are devoid of this right. We are now beginning to understand that society cannot function without active contribution of women, and in majority of the rural parts and also in some urban pockets of India, women are still considered to be incapable of taking independent decisions. In order to collectively evolve as a society, women need to be empowered. Women empowerment in India is highly dependent upon various factors such as geographical location, educational status, social status, etc. Policies currently exist at all levels in various sectors, including education, economic opportunities, healthcare, political participation, but there are substantial gaps between formulation and implementation of these policies at the community level. Education is the master key to unlock the door to women empowerment at the grassroots level. As per 2011 census, the female literacy rate in India was 65%, in contrast with the male literacy rate of over 80%. We have a long way to go to bridge the gap just in the context of literacy rate, and even that is not enough to enhance productivity or obtain high paying jobs, but is essential for women to pursue higher education. The only way through which we as a society can move forward and aspire to have economic growth is through education among the female citizens. I would like to spend a few minutes on enumerating and dwelling on some effects of education with respect to female emancipation. Most importantly, education liberates the mind and opens it up to places, people, and possibilities we would never thought of otherwise. Therefore, an educated woman is a liberated woman. Next, I believe that education offers independence and it enables women to make their own life choices about anything and everything, whether it is lifestyle, career, sexuality, life partner, food, etc. Education is the key to understanding the difference between right and wrong, standing up against oppression and gender discrimination, and making correct choices in life. Education allows women to ignore monarchy, societal dictates, and live life on their own terms. It will be the first step towards gender equality and shared decision making. Another very important aspect, at least in India, is eradicating social injustice. Education galvanizes women to take a stand against societal evils which plague the society. An intellectual and enlightened woman will actively participate in the fight against dowry, sexual harassment, objectification, misogyny, and patriarchy. Finally, education has enabled women to go beyond generic professions. Today, women are becoming models, actors, architects, engineers, journalists, lawyers, managers, CEOs, scientists, joining the army and police forces, and even running the entire nations. There is no profession left which can be said is sole domain of man. The 21st century's woman is breaking the glass ceiling and finding her own place in society. The educated woman is no longer dependent on a man to provide her shelter and food. Being Chancellor designate of the upcoming Prestige University in Indore, Central India, and chairman of Prestige Education Foundation, under whose tutelage over 12,000 students are pursuing education from lower KG to management and other professional streams at our 8 institutions located in Indore, Devas, and Gwalior in Madhya Pradesh. I have devoted major part of life in promoting primary to higher education and making it affordable and within the reach people under the able guidance and patronage of my illustrious father, Padma Shri Dr. Davish Jain. Let me share my personal experience and my little contribution in this very important aspect. Over the 26 years of having been in the higher education space, I have seen a rapid growth in participation of girl students at both the undergraduate as well as postgraduate levels. Today, as we speak, in almost all programs that we run, 40% of all our students are girls. It is not long before we shall see a gender parity in higher education in prestige group of institutions. In the last 26 years, a large number of girl students have graduated from our portals and are serving the national and international level jobs. Friends, I only wish to bring to the attention of all powers that be the fact that we must create more opportunities for women to acquire education and try to remove all bottlenecks that presently prevents female from acquiring education at all levels. During our deliberations, we must focus our thoughts and energies on at least a few of the 17 sustainability development goals adopted by the United Nations. Notable: zero hunger, gender equality, and malnutrition. While on the subject of an enlightened world, I would like to reiterate the need of a healthy body to house a liberated and enlightened mind. Apart from educational ventures, I also run an agribusiness industry which focuses on soybean and its extracts. This affordable and rich source of protein is the answer to eradicate malnutrition from the planet. It has been observed that a large part of the global population fulfills this daily calorie food need with carbohydrates, which leads to obesity and related ailments arising out of imbalanced nutrition. Consumption of soy protein can easily meet this requirement at affordable cost. I would be happy to contribute in any way from this perspective to help in achieving this objective. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. Good day.
Davish Jain, we have a question for you here. It is, how has COVID pandemic affected colleges and university educational institutes in Indore, especially for girls attending colleges?
As we all know, COVID-19 pandemic has battered education system around the world. Over 1.5 million schools across India closed down due to the pandemic. Only 25% of the households have access to the internet, according to 2019 government survey. To fight back the disruption and damage, educational institutes have to across the country have to embrace the digital mode of education as a solution to fill the void left by the classroom teaching. With this, the hitherto peripheral digital education in India came center stage and is now increasingly getting integrated to the mainstream. Like elsewhere in the country, the COVID-19 pandemic has also had a huge impact on the educational institutions of Indore, considered to be the educational hub of Madhya Pradesh. Indore, being the commercial capital of Madhya Pradesh, attracts students from cities across India, with many prestigious government-aided and private higher educational institutions at Indore. Nearly 150,000 outstation students come to Indore every year for higher studies. During pandemic times, parents are reluctant to send their children for higher studies to Indore, more specifically for the girl students. Unavailability of girls' hostels complying with COVID norms and the restricted intra-city movements have added to the woes to pursue higher education in the city. Because of the reclosure of education institutions in Madhya Pradesh till March 31st this year, following renewed surge of COVID-19 cases, girl students continue to remain at the receiving end of this new normal, as we say. They are not being allowed by the parents to come to Indore to pursue higher education under the present circumstances. Besides this, girls are delegated work. Also, they reduce household income as forced early marriages of girl child. While the technology rushed to rescue the sector with Zoom, Google, Cisco, and Microsoft solutions, it badly affected the peer learning, which is so very important at the higher education level. Opening of the institutes in physical mode possesses challenges of different levels. Going to the institutions where a bus facility is not available or a proper hostel is not there may worsen the situation. Health and food became the most important primary category, and education as their secondary preference. Technology and time, the biggest snafu of the online learning, deals primarily with time management and technology. For students prone to procrastination, online learning can be difficult to coordinate and motivation can prove to be a struggle. Social interaction and stigma without the on-campus interactions with the students, educators, clubs, sports, and other students, many other students can feel being isolated. Women irrespective of the age, bear the most burden of domestic chores. Other than engaging only in academic, schools also provide a safe space for children and especially girls. In schools, they have a lot of opportunities to talk to the friends. They are also free from the household care and work. They can play and engage in all sports activities, which provide them a sense of belonging and encourage them to aspire. Now, locked in homes, they have nowhere to go or someone to talk to other than engaging in forced household work. However, alongside there has been a positive outcome also. Girls typically, the more sincere gender by and large, have actually focused their energies and has resulted in much. And this is the only due to the education of the parents and a lot of government initiatives. This is what I would like to say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Davish Jain, we have one more question for you. You mentioned about farming project. So we have a question for you. Is the soybean farming project non-GMO and done with organic methods?
Yes, in India produces 100% non-GMO soybeans, and that is by a government regulation that genetically modified organisms in the farming are prohibited or forbidden. As far as the organic soybeans are concerned, yes, a small portion of our production is also certified as organic. And this goes into the value-added food chain. Most of the exports of Indian soybean meal and other soya products, they are throughout Asia and Europe, which prefers the natural purity derived from non-GMO character of Indian soybeans.